Welcome to That American Football Show, powered by EP Sports. EP Sports is the top supplier in the UK for all your American football needs, helping players and coaches reach their potential since 2007. Check them out at epsports.co.uk. I'm here with Joe, Tim and Craig, and today we've got an interview with the amazing UK Dukes, and we also talk some schedules. So we'll go straight into the schedule work. We've actually got two different leagues, potentially three if you include the European League, but we'll of course talk about the NFL first. So as I'm sure we've all been aware, being in any one of the circles of news, because they've all been bombarded, the schedules are out for the NFL, including two UK games, which we'll get into. But I mean, I think we're all a bit split on how important it is. I personally think schedules are nice to see, but it doesn't actually have any impact on you because strength of schedule is a myth. But how have you guys reacted to I know the Ravens have got a pretty rough one going ahead.
Yeah, we've got the second on paper toughest, but like you said, look at the Steelers last season. They were supposed to have a tough schedule and they had a cakewalk. But we've got Raiders Monday night, week one. We've got a bit of a pod showdown with me and Tim, Monday night game. So again, it's a big one. And then we've got Kansas City after on a short week. So that'll be interesting. But I think
that's heavy,
that is. But we've got, I think the one that's most exciting is we've got Steelers final week of the season. So I think even if whether one of us or both of us are making playoffs or whatever, by that point or neither of us, I can see both teams going at it regardless. So it should be at least one interesting game final week of the season.
Yeah, man. Steelers Ravens is, I think, now just a bit of a game for everyone for the past 2-3 years. They're such good games though.
Yeah, the opening week is actually pretty good when you look at it. I'm going through it now. Obviously, Bucks Cowboys it's Tom Brady against one of the most marketable franchises. Adam's not enjoying that opening game. As you said, we got the pod rivalry going, Raiders Ravens. A good game. You got Bills Steelers in there, but you've also got Chiefs Browns, which is going to be really exciting to see that little revenge game going on. So you're just going to be sitting down all weekend. The hype is going to be fulfilled, I reckon.
And of course, 2 UK games been announced. First one, I'm going off memory here, is October 10th, and it is the Jets at the Falcons. And then October 17th is the Dolphins at the Jags. So 2 years ago, these would have been fairly mediocre matchups. But honestly, they're not like these amazing established teams, but you've got Matt Ryan and that unbelievable offense for the Falcons going against this whole new Jets team that I think everyone's opinion is they look exciting. No one knows what to expect, and they've got a whole lot of new toys to play with. And then you move to the second week, and you've got Tua and the Dolphins against Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, which is just an unbelievable little Florida showdown. And it's going to be like some horribly cold day, and all the Florida teams are going to be thrown off. But yeah, I mean, obviously, there wasn't any games last year, but I'm super excited for both of them in London.
Yeah.
Kind of ironic. You've got two Florida teams playing on a cold Sunday night in October in London.
It's 2:30 kickoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
Speaking of cold weather teams, Packers have just picked up, was it Blake Bortles?
Yeah.
And they've got the whole Aaron Rodgers situation, and Davante Adams has come out and said that if he left, he'd rethink his situation. Do you think it's all just a big hoo-ha and media hype and just a bit of push and shove between them and the owner, or do you think there's any substance in it?
The more I look at it, the more I think Rodgers is going to play for the Packers, and he's going to play as player, general manager / owner of the Packers. It's just a power struggle, I think. He just wants to have total control. Why not? Of any team, why wouldn't you give Aaron Rodgers total control? Everything he's moaned about, actually, I've agreed with them not getting him better weapons and everything else. So I can't see him playing anywhere else.
No.
I don't want him to.
Yeah.
Craig, do you see Rodgers moving?
I don't see him moving, no. I think a lot of it is just sort of being blown out of proportion, and a lot of the stuff that's supposedly being said, I don't know if it really is being said. And part of me does feel like I understand where Rodgers is coming from, and I get it. And then part of me also feels like, well, at the same time, what more do you want? You've got the best receiver in the league. You've got a solid offense there, one of the best defensive lines, solid tight ends, and he does have a reasonably solid receiving core. They've got the defense let them down a couple of times last season, but it's fairly solid in most places. Like at a certain point, you feel like, well, what else do you want, mate? You know what I mean? Like, there's only so complete your team is going to be. I think part of it is on his shoulders to an extent, and he's not.
I think he gets traded. I don't think he stays. I don't think we'll see him play with the Packers this season.
Oof. How come?
I just think the price is ridiculously high. When you look at some of the theoretical trades, you're giving away like 3 starting players and 2 first-round picks for a quarterback who's in his late 30s. I know he was MVP last season, but you're kind of screwing up the development of your team if he only plays for 2 years.
Yeah, but this is following the year that a 42-year-old quarterback left his team and then decided to go to Florida to make a super team and then win a Super Bowl. So
yeah, a unicorn though. There's not many 40.
It's a unicorn, but it's recency bias because right now the main focus has just gone and done it. It's Aaron Rodgers is probably sitting there going, maybe there's obviously all the smoke screens. Does he like being there? But the way I look at it is he's made threats nearly every year and kind of been like, look, you got to help. And they've just signed him another backup quarterback who is the boat. He's played in championship games. I mean, so like, why would they get Blake Bortles if Jordan Love is the heir apparent? Why have they got a subpar backup when they've got a backup that's kind of maybe wanted to get a bit of game? It just doesn't make sense to me. He might not necessarily be playing football next year, but I don't think he'll be on the Packers.
The smart thing, while his stock's still high, would be to trade him and just kind of, he might have a couple of years left in him, but you may as well sort of get what you can for him now while the price is high. Just don't let it happen what happened last time with 5 and let it go to a divisional rival. And let it.
Could you imagine if, like, let's say the Vikings all lines up to pick up 1. The Packers are now in a division with Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, and someone else.
I think if he was going to get traded, I don't think he will. The Broncos would be the obvious and most gullible team to do that because they're so desperate for a quarterback after years and years of not having a quarterback. They would sell the farm to get him and mortgage their future.
I think as well, like, if you're going to be that team to go get him, you've got to be very good in every other position on the pitch. You can't just get Aaron Rodgers and just be like, hopefully he's the thing that will connect us. As you say, you're trading away your near future of your franchise. You have to have everything else in place for it to work and for him to try and get that Super Bowl. If you haven't got it, then it's just pointless.
Yeah. So you look at the other one that's quite often mentioned is him going to the Raiders. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to fix the Raiders. We've got a semi-decent quarterback, no matter what you think of him, in Derek Carr. And yes, Aaron Rodgers is definitely miles better quarterback than Derek Carr. But Aaron Rodgers can't play D-line, O-line. He can't play in the secondary. So he's not really going to help the team on that side of things.
What about the Niners? That was another team that was thrown about a lot for them.
They got Trey Lance now, haven't they?
Yeah,
Trey Lance, so I can't see
it's whether they plan on starting them straight away. You could always bench them, redshirt them for a year or so.
Trade for Aaron Rodgers and have your backup already in place to have the draft.
That's the thing. I don't know if Rodgers would be too comfortable with that, would he? If he's going in,
he's from Cal though, isn't he? He went to Cal University.
It's where he wanted to go, wasn't it? Originally.
But I think from a bargaining point of view, he's got the full house because he's got. I want to be traded. I can walk away from football quite easily and I can do this Jeopardy hosting gig full time if I want to. So you've got to do exactly what I want you to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a definite chance it is all just false threats, but I just think he's not going to do it at this point in his career when he's done it so often and now it feels like a bit of a final full stop.
I think possibly there's a whole Illuminati of the American media who get together every off-season and come up with a story so they've got something to talk about for 4 months.
This time we're going to pretend Jerry Jones is actually dead, but he's just been animated. Did you guys see some of the schedule reveal videos? Some of them were really. The Giants one was just one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. They got some of the team jerseys wrong. The Cowboys had Post Malone like knocking on Jerry's door and handing him the schedule as the postman, which was amazing.
Yeah, that's quality.
What was the other one I linked in? But the Chargers one, whose social media team, they're on top of it. They did their schedule as Pop-Tarts, and they just had like all these joke Pop-Tarts, and like the Kansas City Chiefs one was just like one thrown on a plate covered in ketchup and stuff. It was like some of them were really funny. But yeah, we have other schedule news. So BAFA have also released their new scheduling systems. Tim, do you want to talk about it? Have you got that information up?
I do. We'll talk about this more next week. We've got a couple of guys from BAFA coming on, and that's one of the things we'll ask them about. I've not been through the full schedule, obviously, because there's so many teams. But when I looked at my local team in Scotland, it looks like the way they've done the schedule is that there's only one game a week per conference. There's a couple of weeks where there's actually 2 games. So there's quite a few gaps between games. I don't know if that's a COVID precaution or something else. So that if they get a cancelled game, I guess they've got wiggle room. But that's something we'll definitely get answers from the guys next week.
I mean, yeah, like you said, we'll talk about it next week, but very interesting. They've chosen to restart the War of the Roses by having the White Rose and the Red Rose division, both for Lancashire and Yorkshire.
Yeah, I think the whole realignment thing, they've actually put regional teams together. So all the Scottish teams are together, all the Northern teams, Southern teams, etc. Whereas before,
what it used to be.
Yeah, there was so much travel. I know last season or season before, sorry, like Edinburgh were playing against the Merseyside Nighthawks, and that would have been a hell of a trip.
Having said that, I've just looked at the Severn League, and Birmingham is in the same division as Bristol.
Not that far.
Is it not?
No.
West Midlands, isn't it? Yeah.
It's about 2 services on the M6, I think.
Oh, my geography is just askew then.
See, the 2 London teams are kicking off against each other, aren't they? Or 2 of the London teams.
Is that Blitz Warriors?
Yeah, I believe so.
Top 2, aren't they?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I've seen the Wembley Stallions there. Our friend Glenn and Fergal used to play for them. But yeah, and then the EFL schedule, was that released a couple of weeks ago? Was that this week?
Yeah, no, they released it a couple of weeks ago, but there has been some more sort of news regarding the ELF. Like their website finally got launched, which you can sign up to have the sort of Game Pass system that they've got going. They've got all the prices on that. I think they do like a full season one, a team one, a day one, and a game by game one. So depending on how you want to look at that. And then a couple of the rosters have been announced actually within the last, today. Frankfurt Galaxy and Barcelona Dragons have released their rosters. And I believe in ELF, you get 60 players on a roster, and another 5, I think, are on the practice squad. You can have no more than 10 European players outside of the country. So if you're German, you can't have any more than 10 non-German Europeans, and then 4 international players. So it is to really promote the sort of the national, whatever country that team's from. It really supports the players in their country. So it's actually quite a nice move. Like as you said in the past, Tim, they used to be full of American players who would come over, and it wouldn't actually give the European players a sort of basis to grow and learn their skills. So they've sort of gone over that, and of course you bring in the skilled players like Jadrian and others to come in and do their thing. But it's interesting. I need to have a little look at the full lists. But yeah, it'd be good to know some of these players over the next few months.
Not that long now till it starts. Week 1, Saturday the 19th of June. I think's the original game. Barcelona, Dragons against Stuttgart Surge, and then you've got the Rocklaw Panthers? I don't know. Tim does better than me. Against the Cologne Centurions. But then, interestingly, on the Sunday, we've got, you mentioned Jadrian, is Sea Devils going up against Cadell's Frankfurt Galaxy on the Sunday, and then you've got the Berlin Thunder and the Leipzig Kings.
I so hope it's just this amazing thing that's going to go for years, and we got on top of it on the first year and just followed it all the way through. I'm so excited. I hope it just smashes it.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
But yeah, so not too much. Ashley, is there any other kind of player news that has been floating around that we want to talk about?
It's all gone relatively quiet, hasn't it? It's just Rodgers is the sort of thing that's making noise.
Colts signed the is it Eric Fisher, the left tackle?
Oh yeah, left tackle.
Yeah, so that's it. I don't know how his recovery is looking like, because he was pretty freshly injured, wasn't he? But yeah, that's backside, or Carson Wentz's backside protector. So nice to see they've got him a nice injured fella. It's going to help with that attitude.
Yeah, he's not going to be ready to October, is he? So it's quite a way.
I saw a really good meme on the Indianapolis Colts subreddit. It was like the first picture celebrating when you realize you're playing the Broncos week 1, and it's like when you realize the Broncos are training for Aaron Rodgers. Oh god. But yeah, so that's all the scheduling news and NFL and every other league news. That's everything from us this week. So don't forget to reach out to us on our socials if you want to find us. And where can they find us, Joe?
Yep. So our Twitter and Instagram is at TAFS_UK, and our Facebook is That American Football Show.
We've also got a website under YouTube. Where can they find all that stuff, Tim?
ThatAmericanFootballShow.com.
Don't forget to check out our friends at Lockdown Lids. I did just recently check their stuff. They've got one really good one. It's like a Chase Young or a Khalil Mack signed jersey framed.
They also have a full-size Brett Favre up there at the moment.
Also got a win your own actual helmet as well. So if you're potential player looking to get some kit, I think it was a
brand new Shut F7, top of the line, top of the range helmet.
Yeah, and there's also, I think, like some wide receivers like Darius Slayton and Marquise Valdes-Scantling. So make sure you go check out those guys. They're always putting good stuff up. As always, please feel free to give us any feedback that you may have, whether it's positive or constructive. Make sure you leave us a rating on wherever you're listening to us from. Let us know where you're listening to us from. We've got a couple of episodes coming out. Obviously, we've just had our JG and Clark one. It's our new Elf Ballers series, where we're going to be talking to players from each of these new teams and getting some insight on who their team is, who they are, and why should we support them. So really looking forward to getting some of that stuff pumped out. But thank you everyone for listening. As always, make sure you head over and check out our friends at EP Sports for all your equipment and NFL needs. And we will see you all next week.